disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flixx, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, Mike Gibbs. What's up, Mike?
What's cracking?
Chilling. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we're members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, I'm going to skip Mondays. Tuesdays, we got CTE, Chris Travis, Carlos Experience. Wednesdays is us. Normally, Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flixx with Eugene and Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the inside scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Mike, it's showtime. What's up, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. What's that hat you got on?
Oh, this right here. Funny you should ask. BBCC. Black Belt Club Collection, man, my clothing line. And it's been an interesting week, man. I put it out there. I dropped it last Thursday.
Man, I don't see my shirt, my sweatshirt,
it's coming.
My hat nowhere, man.
It's coming, man. It's not in the mail yet, but I got all the stuff for everybody that's part of the Martial Arts Internet Network. So you're gonna get it, man.
I'll just rent the DPD and police department.
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not talking about them. But you know what? They're better than the ones, the suburbs. I ain't never really had no problem with the Detroit police. It's them damn suburbs, the suburban cops who are bored, who don't have homicides to try and solve. So they don't have nothing else better than with their time, So right. It is what it is. So what's up, man, with you? So what's going on?
Man, a lot of travel. This week has probably been the most I've traveled to Michigan, kind of back and forth for work. I had some vacation, but I had to take care of some work stuff. Got stranded in my dad's on Tuesday night, had my work computer and wouldn't let me pick up the hotspot. So that's why we weren't able to go Tuesday. Still really don't know what's going on with that. So I'm going to have to take, if that happens again, I'm just going to start taking, my home personal laptop with me so we can still give our fans what they need. Yeah.
Okay. So, Thursday was my birthday, man. A week ago, I turned 44. I don't feel 44. When I was little, I thought that's the end of it. When you hit your 40s or whatever, but I still feel good. So that's why I wanted to put out the website and drop the clothing line on my birthday, because now I can always remember when I dropped the clothing line. Right. So all day for the early part of the morning, I was just finishing up the website. And I'm not a website, even though I've made about 4 or 5 different websites in my life. I'm not a website designer. I'm not one of those people that's in the coding and everything. So right. It took a little bit longer than a normal person would, but hey, it's done. And if you guys interested, you can always go to blackbeltclothes.com and check it out. I'm always going to be updating with new styles, new clothes,
Now you've had it out for a while, because I remember when you came, I believe you came to the tournament at the beginning of the year before COVID. I believe you had a shirt on. So you just waited a little while, got your rights together, and then dropped it, correct?
Yeah, honestly, I've actually been working on it for maybe about 5 or 6 years, but I'm not one of those people that can, have an idea and then just jump right into it. So I wanted to research and find out everything I could about fashion and about clothes and designing and everything like that. So it's been taking me about 5 or 6 years, creating things. I really wanted to launch it last year. I planned to launch it at my uncle's tournament last year, because I figured there'd be a lot of people there if I would have had a nice little booth. But I wasn't ready. And the trademark stuff came back sometime in August. Everything came back.
Right.
So
now, how long does that process take? Like, if you trademark something like that?
I did it by myself. I didn't use an attorney or anything like that. So
Right.
that was something else you have to research and learn how to do. So that took about 3 or 4 months when I first submitted. Yeah, when I first submitted, it was like sometime actually it might have been longer than that. I believe that was in March. So yeah, like 5 months. So I submitted that information back then, and it just came back in August. So it was a nice amount of time, you know. But you know, I got a couple other different designs and stuff that I still want to trademark also. But as right now, the majority of stuff is done.
Now the shirt you have on, it's a karate shirt.
Oh yeah, this is for my school. This is what my students wear when they're training.
That looks like a good quality shirt, though.
Oh yeah, you know. But they see that's you learn that type of stuff, you know. So this is a good shirt, you know.
I like that.
Thanks, man. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. So people are tuning in, and you guys are ready to hear Cobra Kai episode 6. It is not going to be as detailed as we normally do. We need to get through this so we can get back to our movies. So what we're going to do is this is just going to be a summary, and we're going to knock out 6, 7, and 8. We're going to do all 3 episodes because, like I said, it's going to be a summary. So you know, I'm not going to go scene by scene like I normally do for the episode. So you ready to jump back into it?
Yes, sir. I'm pulling up my notes right now.
All right, cool. So episode 6, it's called Quiver. So basically in this episode, we get an idea of Johnny's background, which we never saw before. So we see him as a young kid, and you know, it starts off with him just riding through his neighborhoods in California, and then he eventually finds his way to the Cobra Kai gym, and he looks inside, and you know, he sees them training. And the number one thing that I thought of the very, very first time I saw this is it does not seem like John Kreese would, back in those times, it doesn't seem like he would have taught kids karate. You know, it seemed like he would have been the type of person that only have an adult curriculum.
Yeah.
I don't really see him like training kids like me and having a bunch of kids all around and teach. I don't really see that for John Kreese.
No, he's not going to accommodate to a child's needs. He's not that type of instructor.
No, you know, it seemed like he probably would have got a lot of complaints from different parents for the different things that he was doing, or would have been doing to his students. Because I'm quite sure, like it would have been challenging and you know, just rough, you know. Right. So you see, you know, we see Johnny. He looks in, and then it comes back to the present, and he is in his karate school, and he is training a bunch of kids who are not what he expected. He was expecting some, you know, rougher kids, but these kids were a little bit on the nerdy side that showed up at his school. You know, those kids were impressed with what they saw with Miguel and how he defended himself, and also protected Samantha. So now these kids, who obviously must have been getting picked on in that school, they want to learn.
They were the kids that were probably getting bullied. That's for sure.
Yeah. And also 2 of the kids that were there, we see Eli and we see Dimitri in there. And man, that Dimitri kid, man, this kid really gets on my nerves. Every time he opens his mouth, there's nothing positive. He seems like it's just a paranoid, you know, nervous kid. Man,
his glass is half empty all the time.
Yeah. And you know, I see a lot of people, not a lot, but I've seen some people in some of the different groups I'm on in Facebook coming to his defense, and they're like, you know, he's not so bad, and this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking like, oh, you were like him when you were a kid, because I don't know anyone who could have, you know, who stands up for Dimitri. For, you know, he's real mouthy. He always has, especially for somebody who's is a little weak. He's awfully mouthy. You know, he runs his mouth an awful lot for someone who is not the toughest kid in this school.
Dimitri's the reason why I can't teach karate full time.
You had a lot of Dimitris?
I send him out the door.
Oh wow, really? You turn away money?
Yeah, that's why I could never make money at it.
Yeah, it was a peace of mind type of thing with you, huh?
It was, I'll be honest though, I only had like a couple kids like that, but I turned away more kids because of the parents and how the parents act. But now we just going to cut our ties right now and go our separate ways. I bet you I could 7, 8 people like that.
Wow, I've never done that. I have never turned away any money or any students ever.
See, but I didn't do it full time, so
I haven't either.
I could.
I've never taught full time. That's a goal of mine. Maybe one day. After that, we see Daniel. He's working himself out in his home dojo that he has, and his daughter is on her on the back patio, and she's looking at things online. Actually, she was paying attention to what Miguel's social media. And then she gets a notification. She was just looking at different pictures of his. They didn't really highlight it. If you just looked at the screen, what she was doing, she was looking at Miguel's social media. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, she started getting notifications, and she's now being bullied by people. And then Daniel wants her to train with him, and she's not really interested in getting back into karate. Now. This is the first time I thought about this as I was watching this scene, because I know the end of the end of the show. Daniel, in this scene, Daniel is looking for people to train with, right? There are a lot of martial arts dojos, academies, schools, clubs in the Valley. Why did he just go to one of those other schools and train with them if he wanted somebody to train with?
Good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, because he's wandering around. He's asking his wife to train with him. She doesn't really want to. And he goes and asks his son, who's playing video games, to train with him, and he doesn't want. He's playing looked like Street Fighter that he was playing on his PlayStation, and he doesn't want to train. And Daniel is damn near begging his son to train. Now I know that wouldn't have been one of us. We would have been like, come on, you about to put on some shorts and a t-shirt and you about to come work out. We wouldn't have been asking them to come train, You got anything to say about that so far?
No. Let's keep going.
Okay, cool. And then, then we get another shot at Robbie. He is in the he is at LaRusso Auto now, and he's doing work, and he's working for them, and actually he's doing a good job, and Noosh.
I don't think the kid's a total mess up.
No, he wasn't. I mean, look at his parents. Honestly, they really weren't. He never really got that much attention.
Right.
So now he probably would have turned out a whole lot different. If he had some supervision. His mother is always out. Dating and doing things, and him and Johnny never really had any type of relationship. So that's what happens. So so he's at LaRusso Auto. But actually, before he goes to work one day, his friends come over and they talk to him. They kind of tease him, and he tells them that he's working there now, and he tells them why. Now he tells them that he's only doing it to piss his dad off. So he's working there, and he's it looks like he's doing a pretty good job. And they try to tease him and set him up a little bit. They tell him, Anoush and Louie, his cousin Louie, they tell him that a car needs to get moved. And he starts the car up in the dealership and supposedly freaks everyone out. I had a job similar to that what he was doing. I was a lot supervisor back in '99 at Sneff Camp Chrysler on Telegraph in Plymouth. So I did that in the summer '99 after I got out of college, and it was a fun job. It was pretty cool, man. We started cars up all the time. Whether customers were there or not, we could, if the manager wanted some things to be switched around, we did it with no problem,
Right.
So to me, when I saw that scene, I was like, well, what's the big deal? You know, he's starting the car up. He's gonna move it or change it around. But you know, Daniel was. I don't know what Daniel was upset about. Really,
it's California, man. Maybe there's some type of emissions thing or something.
You know, or maybe they have to do it. Maybe they have to do it after closing time or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then as Robbie runs out of there, Daniel sees that Louis and Anoush kind of play the rib on him. Mm-hmm. So and he sees he's upset, so he goes out and he apologizes to him, and tells him to come back inside, and he knows what they did, mm-hmm. and also he kind of has him hits his hand a little bit to let off some steam, right? Back in Cobra Kai, Johnny was trying to teach, and once again Dimitri is running his mouth, interfering in class, and he decides that he needs to teach Dimitri a little lesson, and he has Dimitri throw a punch at him, and he kind of takes him down, and Dimitri's embarrassed, and he eventually leaves Cobra Kai. He wants out at that point, and Miguel's trying to talk to him, trying to get him to come back, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. What did you think of their conversation right there?
I want to go back to Dimitri for a second. So,
go ahead.
I will say, even though I threw people like that out, didn't throw them out, but I just didn't deal with them. I still feel there's kids like Dimitri that need the martial arts. So
100%.
Recap that. So, he can. But he can find his way in the martial arts, if you will. So I don't think it's good that Johnny kind of let him throw him out himself.
Well, out. I don't think Johnny threw him out. I think he just
he bullied him out.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, he was interfering in the class, and he was interfering in the class because.
But he didn't do no push-ups. He didn't do no.
No, he just kind of flipped them. That's all he did. From what we thought, he just kind of flipped them, and But a kid like Dimitri is the type of kid that you have to sit down with the student and the parents, and then you have to get the parent on your side, and then that's how you make steps in improving that student, in my opinion. Because now hopefully the parent will see the value of their child being in the martial arts and being in that class, and then hopefully they won't let them quit. Now there are some parents that would have been like, well, if they don't, my son or child doesn't want to do it, then we're not going to make them do it, this and the other. But he still could have made the attempt. But like you said, he is the type of kid that needs the martial arts. And honestly, Mike, we eventually will see Dimitri doing some martial arts later on.
Again.
All right, so let's move on past that. And actually, Dimitri was he was trying to stand up for Eli because Johnny was, he wasn't teasing Eli, but he noticed that the scarring that he has on his lip, and he was telling him about that and asking him, telling him he needed to get it fixed or whatever, and he said, well, this is pretty much how it was worse than this. At first, this happened. I guess it happened at birth for him.
Cleft lip.
Yeah.
Cleft palate.
Yeah.
Undeveloped palate.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on from there. We're gonna go back to now. We're gonna go to the school, and Samantha is still getting teased. They put a blow pop on her back, and she's taking it in stride. She's not getting angry, or she's not having any type of outburst or anything like that. Miguel knows about the teasing. He doesn't really like it, you can tell. In this class, it looks like it's a science class, and Samantha's partner is not here, and she's looking for a group to work with, and Miguel and Dimitri say that she can come work with them. When she goes over, she thanks Miguel for standing up for her also during the fight.
I felt that during that scene though that Dimitri didn't really want her there. Did you get that vibe?
No, I think he did, because if you notice, when she walked over there to them, She bumps up against Dimitri, and he's staring at his shoulder the whole time, where she just brushed up against him.
Oh, see, I took that the other way.
And then he smells his shoulder. He smells his shoulder. Yeah. So that's one of those things that was like kind of a background thing, because the focus was on Miguel and Samantha. And if you weren't really paying attention to Dimitri, you would miss that part. But yeah, he was like, he I guess he never had a girl brush up and touch him before, so
not surprised.
Right. So she thanks Miguel for standing up for her, and he says, no problem, anybody would have did it. And she said, well, nobody else did do that, So you could see some type of chemistry developing between both of them. Now back at the dealership, Amanda, she brings Robbie. No, Robbie is in the break room. It looks like he's doing something, and Amanda brings Louis into the break room to apologize to Robbie for the rib they just pulled on him. And she tells Robbie that Louis is going to be doing most of his work for the rest of the day. And Robbie was like, he was okay with it. He didn't have a problem with it. And then Louis asked him if he was still trying to get in good with Daniel, and he just kind of said, yeah, kind of. So Louis tells him that he needs to take the sales report to Daniel's house, right? At night. He said that Amanda had asked him to do it, but it was 20 minutes out of his way, and he really didn't want to do it. So Robbie said, cool. So he tells him it's on his desk, and we assume that he's going to take it, right? You got anything so far?
Nah.
Okay. Johnny in the Cobra Kai dojo, Johnny is looking at his students, and he finds out that a couple more students have left. He's kind of saying, that they're pretty much pussies for leaving. And, he's kind of giving some of them credit for staying. And he says, look at Lip. Lip is tougher than them. And he's referring to Eli. And Eli says, please don't call me that. So that's the first time we ever really see him starting to stand up for himself.
Right.
And eventually he's a little frustrated with Johnny. And at least we think he's frustrated with Johnny. And Johnny's telling him, like, you have to, if you don't want people to talk about your lip, you're going to have to stand up for yourself and flip the script. Don't have a weird looking lip. And Dimitri leaves. He just leaves the class. And, Johnny seems a little disappointed that he just walked out of class that way. Miguel eventually talks to Johnny after that and says, like, why, don't be so hard on them. These are our students, these are your students. You wanted a full dojo and now you got one. So, you can't really chase them off. And, Johnny says, well, I didn't want a full dojo like that. So he was referring to the type of students that he got. And I would assume I guess that kind of would be a culture shock type of thing. So if you're used, I know if you were training in the 70s and 80s in the karate school, it was probably mostly adults. And I know when I first started, I was the only kid.
Me too.
Everybody else was adults. I guess that's a question that we would have to ask.
We were the first karate kids, like people our age.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right.
So we got our ass beat.
All those Friday nights.
I know that's why I'm the way I am. That's why Dimitri can never come to my school.
So you'll be like, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so so Miguel is talking to Johnny, and he tells him, like, you don't know what it's like to be us. And then we see Johnny flashback to his life, and we find out that he was getting bullied at home. So he can't. Yeah, so we see him come home. He's excited. He's telling his mom about Cobra Kai, and he wants to join. And then his stepdad comes in, and he's a little rough. He's a little mean. And he's saying, this is going to be wasting money. It's going to be throwing it in the garbage. He's quit a bunch of other activities. And what we see, I don't know if you noticed this also, what Johnny does when this happens, he takes his headphones and just puts them on, and turns on the music. His son does that also.
Yeah,
that's what Robbie does. When anything is going on that he doesn't want to listen to in his house, he puts his headphones on to block out any type of distractions or whatever. After that, we see the scene where Robbie is taking the fake sales report to Daniel's house, and really it's an adult magazine. When he comes in and Daniel asks him, have you looked at this? And he sees like, no, it's your eyes only. And he pulls it open and he sees it's an adult magazine, and he knows Louis got him again. Now this made me wonder, because when that happened, it was nighttime. Mm-hmm. None of these kids that we've seen, except for Samantha, has a car. So, Miguel, we see him, he's riding a bicycle. Right. Robbie is on a skateboard. So I was starting to wonder, like, how close is everything together?
No, that's a good point.
In the valley, because
Robbie and the LaRussos live in a different part of town. They have to. Yeah.
And I would think that dealership would be in a different part of town also.
Correct.
So I was thinking, like, man, it's late at night, and Robbie, did he just skateboard all the way to Daniel's house and then from the dealership, and then had to skateboard all the way back to his house, wherever it is that he lives,
Yeah, I don't know. Good point.
Yeah. So I was wondering about that. And one other thing, there was another scene where Samantha was looking at her computer and she saw that, she got a notification, and she was a little scared to look at it because she thought it was going to be more, teasing or something like that. And it was really a message from Miguel. Mm-hmm. And, he was interested. That's pretty much, we see him, shooting his shot, letting her know that he's interested in her, and she obviously, she liked it, and she liked him. We see that. And then the last scene for this episode, we got Johnny. He's in the dojo, and he's he's not really apologizing to the students for his behavior, because he's keeping it real. He's keeping it real with them. He is. And then he tells them also that he was like them. He told them that, he didn't have any friends growing up also. Well, to a certain point, because eventually we see that he does get a group of guys that are going to be his best friends. But up until that point, before he joined Cobra Kai, he was a different type of child. And as he's talking to the kids, Eli walks in. But no one really recognized him at first, because now he has a mohawk. He has a blue mohawk going down his head. And Johnny gives him the name Hawk. And he was impressed when he saw him, so he was happy. He didn't pay attention to the lip anymore, So it sunk in to Eli what Johnny wanted, And then all of the kids in the dojo, they also were impressed. And then they understood what Johnny was trying to tell them.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's a difference. The way the kids are in this season, they're a lot different in the second season. They got a lot of swag. When the second season popped off. And that's pretty much the end of this episode, man. What you think?
It's leading up, right? So it's setting the stage for what's going to happen at the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is that tournament is a whole nother problem I had. That's like one of the only things that I have a problem with this episode, and we'll get to that when we get next week when we do episodes 9 and 10.
It was so corny.
What the tournament? It was. I mean, it just took me out of it a little bit. Yeah, as far as being realistic, like we had that talk earlier. You told a story about someone that slid into a black belt division before and competed, and almost won, you know. But to me, I ain't never really seen nothing like that before, you know. All right, let's move on to episode 7. So this one is called All Valley, episode 7. So this episode starts off, we see Robbie, and he's training. But it's not the training that we know. Well, the training that we do. It's the type of weird training that Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel. So he is at the dealership doing all of these weird... because he's washing windows, and Daniel comes over and shows him how he wants him to wash the windows. And of course, he teaches him how to wax on, wax off of the cars. He's teaching them how to push a broom a particular way, how to, jack up a car, to change the tires. And, Robbie's doing it. And, I'm quite sure he was wondering what the hell was going on. Now, the part that did confuse me, well, not confuse me, but made me think was Robbie got frustrated when he was doing this work. And he comes over to Daniel and tells him that all of the cars were waxed. And then Daniel says, did you do the other lot or whatever? And then, Robbie gets mad and he says, this is bullshit. You're supposed to be teaching me karate. I'm just doing all your chores. Now, the part that got me confused is, Robbie, right now, you're at work, buddy. It's not like you're at home chilling, hanging out. So whatever Daniel tells you to do, you should just do it right now.
Right.
You shouldn't even have been thinking about training. You should have just been thinking, I'm working, and this guy is weird, and he wants me to do these. He wants me to work a particular way.
Right.
But this is work. Yeah. You got anything so far?
No, that's a good point, though.
Okay, so after Robbie and Daniel have that face to face, and he tells them that this is bullshit. We get we see Robbie in Daniel's dojo at his house, and he's asking him to do the blocks that he's taught him or the techniques. And now Robbie is realizing all of a sudden that, I know karate.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like the Daniel and Mr. Miyagi type thing where, when Daniel, I don't know, man, that shit's just all weird to me.
It's really weird to me. Let me tell you why it's weird.
Go ahead.
If you think back to the Karate Kid, how he was on the deck standing in the circle, waxing off on the circle, painting the fence, and then he has Robbie doing the same thing. Both of them came by in passing to correct them. So Daniel, the one scene, if you remember the original Karate Kid, he had all them sandpaper pads on the deck, and he was almost done. Then Miyagi comes out and says, "Oh no, this way." Like at the end of the lesson, like he's been practicing for an hour wrong, and now you come and correct him. Now he's got it
right.
Like,
now
they're not
Daniel had more of a reason to be upset with Mr. Miyagi than Robbie did with Daniel, because like I said, Robbie was at work. Daniel was coming over to Mr. Miyagi's house to train and then doing chores. So he wasn't expecting to do work. Not like that. And Mr. Miyagi was training him all day. I have never consistently did karate all day. My uncle used to pick us up in the summertime, some summers, and he'll pick us up at 10 o'clock and we'll be with him all day until, classes are over, and we'll go and we'll do demo stuff or practice forms or whatever and stretch out. But it was not a class all day, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. No, that wasn't the case. Like, have you ever worked out all day, like from morning to night?
No, but I've done the Richard Plowden. Not to pick on him, I'm not gonna say that shit because I know I get a text message or some crazy. one of you guys will tell on me, but he would. This was my biggest pet peeve, and I'm just gonna say it, man, because I don't care. I'm grown now. I'm still a little scared though. Be at the school at what we're going to a tournament. Be at the school at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I already know what you're going. I already know what you're going to say.
But we don't leave till 9 o'clock at night. I just sat there 8 hours for what?
I'm not in this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not in
Why
this
we gotta be there at 1 o'clock? And I'm punctual. So if we weren't leaving till 9 o'clock, I should have been told be there at 9 o'clock, Mike. I'd have been there at 8:30. At 1 o'clock, I was always on the non-punctional people's time. Like the 1 o'clock. Why? But my dumb ass fell for it every time.
So this must have been a tournament where you guys were going out of town, like to Cincinnati or Chicago or something like that.
It wasn't just once. Like, I feel Daniel's pain right now with this. I wasn't learning no damn karate. We weren't learning shit. Avery and Morgan and Evan were little. We're watching them do schoolwork in the corner. And then I'm like fucking coloring with them. I don't even know if they remember. Shit, they were little. Like, it's bullshit.
Wow. You know what? Honestly, I thought you were like sitting in the parking lot when you said that. I thought you were sitting in the parking lot. I thought you were sitting in the parking lot waiting.
No.
Eating Coney Island.
The school's alive. That's what. All right, let's go, man. So frustrated about that shit. Like 25 years later.
I see. All right, man. So also after that, we got Johnny. He's teaching the kids, and he's teaching them about punches, and they're getting ready to punch, and he finds out that the kids hadn't been punched before. So then this is crazy. He tells them they're all going to be punched in the face, and he tells Aisha to line them up and give them all a punch to the face or whatever. So he decides to go into his office to pay attention, to read a magazine. And when he does that, he sees the All Valley tournament is coming up. Mm-hmm. Also, before we get to this, did you see that he even mentions it? They were selling nunchucks in this magazine he was looking at for $450. And he says that he was like $450 for nunchucks. What a ripoff. So obviously you must never noticed that part before, because I see your face right now. Yeah, go back. I was about to say, have you ever seen any weapons that were that expensive?
No.
Okay, so that's a movie thing. Okay, and I don't even understand why they put that part in the movie. But if you go back and watch, you'll see that part. And he sees the tournament. The All Valley's coming up. And when Miguel walks in, now Miguel wants to talk to him about asking Samantha out. So he's telling Johnny all about her, and Johnny just wants to know if she's hot. That's all he cares about. That's all he knows. He doesn't know it's Samantha LaRusso though.
Right.
So he's just trying to figure out if she's attractive. Miguel eventually says yes, and Johnny tells him, like, you're a Cobra Kai. It's nothing to be, nervous about. No does not mean no. Just go ahead and go for it and ask her out. He's just trying to help with his confidence.
Right.
Did you? What do you got to say about that?
Thank God I never needed no instructors for dating advice. Because when I was like Miguel's age, I wasn't even with your uncle. I was with another guy, and I don't see him being ladies type. And no offense, Shihan, but I don't see him being a ladies man. So I was better off on my own.
Gotcha.
Big time, Michael Bates. Big time.
Yeah, said Mike you are having flashbacks, Mike. I see it.
We were the first Karate Kids.
That's right. So then after that, the next scene after that, we see Robbie. He's in the cafeteria. Well, he's in some type of cafeteria. I'm about to say he's at the Russo Auto, but it looks like he's like in a diner or something. He's having lunch. His boys walk in, and they want to do another job. And at first, Robbie's like, all right, what is it? And then they say they want to rob, they want to steal, they want to break into the Russo Auto. Robbie's really not in for it, because at first he's thinking they want to steal a car, and he tells them we can't steal a car. And they tell him some stereo, some rims, chrome, whatever. Mm-hmm. They tell Robbie that they want him to get the code. And he tells them he doesn't have the code, but they say, they believe in him because they've seen the different things that he's done. So they feel that he can find a way to to get it. And it was pretty slick because he does get the code, and it was real slick how he did it.
Yeah, with the phone.
Yeah, with his phone. I mean, I would have never thought of that. we might as well just go ahead and get to that part right now. So he's pretending to take pictures of vehicles for, I think he said, the insurance adjuster. I think that's what he said. And Amanda, because Amanda walks up to him and asks, "What is he doing?" And he tells her that. And then she decides that she needs to go into wherever they were, wherever she was trying to get into, whatever room that was. And she punches the code in, and he records her. So now he knows what's the numbers to the code. So that was pretty slick. In the high school, we see Miguel. He approaches Sam. He's trying to break the ice a little bit, talking to her, and then he eventually asks her out. And she tells him no, that she's really not ready to start dating anyone because her and Kyler had just broke up. But Miguel remembers what Johnny says, and he said, he finds a way around it and says, "What if it's not really a date? Just two friends, going out?" And she kind of falls for it and says, "Well, if it's not a date, then yeah, we can go out." And then she asks him to pick her up, and then he says, "Oh, I have a bike." So, but she just says, "Okay, well, I'll pick you up then." So she was cool about it. No big deal to her. You got anything else?
Nah, let's go.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So after that, sometime after that, I think Amanda was looking for Robbie, and Robbie was, and she asked Daniel where Robbie was, and Daniel tells her that he is actually in the back messing with got that feedback from you, Mike. That he's
do you hear it?
Yeah, I heard the chair.
No, it's not the chair. Keep going. I'm listening.
Okay. That actually Robbie was in the back working on the bonsai trees, so he's teaching them how to shape and trim the trees just like Mr. Miyagi taught him. Now, when he's back there, Robbie's not really confident in what he's doing. He doesn't really want to mess up the trees, and Daniel tells him that, you really can't mess them up. Just get a vision of in your head, what you want these trees to look like, and just do it. And then Robbie kind of puts it together that Daniel is trying to teach him a lesson. And then Daniel tells him, yeah, you are the tree, and you can make your life, you can design your life the way that you want your life to be.
That's a dumb question.
Go ahead.
Are bonsai trees real?
I'm assuming so. I believe so.
If anybody listening knows if a bonsai tree is real, I was wondering that the other day.
I mean, I'm assuming so. I mean, I've never seen any advertisements for them, and anytime I bought a car, nobody's ever given me one. But I assume they're real. You know what? So, we also, let's go back a little bit. I forgot a part. We see Hawk. He decides to show off his tattoo. He got a big hawk on his back with a mohawk. And, he said that he spent a long time in the chair. Man, this kid's like 15, 16 years old. I don't think tattoo artists are supposed to be doing that.
I love Hawk, man.
Yes, I do.
I'd have trained Hawk. That'd have been my man.
Okay. Someone says yes, they are real. There we go. I just never seen them. I seen it. Okay, that's what. Next time I go to a home and garden section, I'm gonna ask if they got some bones. I'm gonna say I'm a martial artist, and I mean that's true. I'm gonna ask for some. Let's see what they say. Now, when Johnny, after Hawk shows them his tattoo, Johnny is yelling. He is actually on the phone talking to the All Valley staff, and they found out that Cobra Kai was banned, and they could not enter the tournament, which is still stupid to me. Like, I don't understand why people have a problem with the name Cobra Kai. If he would have just simply made it Lawrence Karate Dojo or Lawrence Cobra Dojo, they wouldn't have had a problem. He could have joined. I would have just called back with a different name for my karate school. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, so he finds out that they're banned, so he's upset. Miguel goes into the office to find out what's going on, and he tells him. And then he kind of flips it and becomes the teacher,
right?
You know, and he tells Johnny, like, you know, you got to fight this. You can't take no for an answer, you know, just like you told us. Mm-hmm. And then Johnny was like, yeah, you're right, and he got ready to go over there and beat their ass, you know. And Miguel kind of calms him down. He's like, no, that's not what I meant. Just talk to them, you know, nicely, you know. And Johnny kind of agreed. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit into later on that evening, and Johnny is getting ready to go to the meeting. So he found a briefcase in the garbage. He even says that I got out of a dumpster or something like that. And he has on, his suit. He's getting ready, and Miguel comes over to his apartment just to ask him, how's he feeling? Is he ready? And he says, yeah. And then Miguel, lets him know, like, okay, if they give you a problem, if you get upset, don't hit anybody. Just kind of make a fist and pretend that it's, that you're gonna hit him, or hit your hand or something to that effect, or whatever. And then Johnny asked him if he was ready for his date, and he tells him what he had planned. And Johnny didn't like it, thought it was a corny idea. And he tells Miguel to take Samantha to golf and stuff, which is a real place in California also. Yeah. I wonder, they probably do get a lot of people to come by there and just take pictures of the sign or something like that. Yeah. Because I see a lot of people doing that for the apartments that Daniel in the movie lived in. I think it's called Seaside or South Seas or something like that apartment.
Yeah. The blue or greenish teal.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of pictures of people who take pictures in front of that sign, So Miguel takes Samantha to golf and stuff. And that's also the same place that Daniel went on his first date with Allie in the first Karate Kid movie, Yeah. So we kind of see some a little montage using some of that music that was in the first Karate Kid movie also, as we see Miguel and Samantha having fun. And, you can see the energy. You see they're starting to connect with each other, and they're really feeling each other, So it was a nice little cute moment, Now for Johnny, he arrives at the All Valley meeting. And, he tells them that, why he's there, that he's there to get his dojo, into the tournament, and that he had been banned. And they didn't know anything about him being banned. And they asked him the name of the dojo, and then in comes Daniel. And, man, he did not want Cobra Kai to be in the dojo. He was a hater. He was a big-time hater. You got anything? I wanted to punch him in the face when he did that.
I did too. If you see Ski, ask him. He got us banned from a tournament one time.
I talk to Ski all the time.
Ask him about the tournament he got me and him banned from.
Oh, I gotta do that. I'm gonna text him tomorrow and ask him.
And I didn't know we got banned. And I went back to the tournament, the next tournament they had, and he stopped me at the door and said, "You're not allowed back here." He said,
it wasn't out of state or nothing, right? I didn't hear you. Broke up. What'd you say?
Grand Rapids.
That's still a couple hour drive, from here, So
and the only thing that they let me in is I brought students, and I had the flyer that he had mailed to me. And I said, if you don't let me in, I will sue you.
Wow, you were a little political. I thought you would have just nutted up and started knocking over tables and stuff. And like,
I had students with me.
So if you did have the students, you would have been like, tournament.
But I had students competing, so
okay, all right. So yeah, so you had to be professional. Mm-hmm. So they asked Johnny what is his connection to Terry Silver and John Kreese, and he tells them that he doesn't know who Terry Silver is, but Johnny says that John Kreese is dead. So that's we kind of find out that he died, but that's what Johnny thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't even know why he thought that, but you know, that's what he thought was Johnny was dead. And then they're showing pictures of what had happened to Daniel. So Daniel was there. Yeah, he is. He's a bitch. He's a hater. He's a bitch. You know, he definitely did not want Cobra Kai to join the tournament. But he should have been cool with it because he should have thought like he just opened up this school. They're all going to be white belts. I wouldn't have even expected them to win or do good. You know, back in that confidence. He was just being an asshole, man. He was just being a big asshole.
No, I'm talking about Johnny. That's why he wanted his people in it. And Daniel's just trying to be a dick.
Yeah. Back at the dealership, we see Robbie. He arrives. His friends are there, and they want to get in and steal some stuff. Robbie says, "I got the code, but I'm not giving it to you guys. We can't do this." And they were upset, so they decided to fight. And Robbie decides to use his new martial arts skills to defend himself against his two former friends, and they're throwing punches at him, and he's blocking both of them. And ain't no way in hell he should have been that good, that soon, that fast, you know. And I didn't even see Daniel even teach him how to throw punches or kicks. Really, it just looked like he just did a whole bunch of blocks or whatever. But Robbie is doing. He's pushing them down. He's spinning around. He's doing all types of stuff, getting out of different situations. He's throwing kicks. He's tossing them over his shoulder. I don't know. Daniel doesn't seem like he would even know how to do any of that stuff, honestly. Right. He just knows kata. But eventually the guys get the best of Robbie, and he kind of crawls to the wall, and he backs up against the wall, and he's cornered. But then he lets them know that there's a camera above him, and they're recording them. And the guys, they tell him to watch his ass, and then they take off. And I was thinking, like, man, Robbie, they know you're always by yourself. If they wanted to, they can come get you anytime. They know where you live.
They got a key to the apartment.
They know where your mama live.
They were hanging out that deep.
Yeah, so he could have easily got jumped. Mm-hmm. Back at golf and stuff, we see Samantha and Miguel having a good time, and we can see them getting really, really close to each other. Mm-hmm. And eventually they're talking. Miguel wins her stuffed animal, and they connect. And eventually she decides that she's going to show him that she knows some moves also. She takes Miguel down, and she gets on top of him. She gives him a kiss. So now it's a date or more. Mm-hmm. You got anything to say about any of that, Mike?
Just going back to them being Robbie getting jumped.
Yeah.
And what I got a question. So we've been doing this almost all our lives.
Yeah.
Good portion of our lives.
Yeah. And
this is what I hate about martial arts movies and people that start karate or question karate. I don't feel like I can beat everybody up. I've never felt that. You know what I feel? If I get jumped, I have a slight chance than the average person of not getting hurt. Mm-hmm. The misconception of you're going to beat up 6-7 people with your karate is crazy.
Yeah, you know what? This is something that Ski told me back when we were like maybe 18 or 19 years old. Mm-hmm. He said, "Okay, if we're going to get jumped, we're probably going to get it. We're probably going to take that L, mm-hmm. But you just got to focus on one person and fuck that one person up. So if you get jumped, somebody else is going to get fucked up too. And you're going to have to take them down too. So one of them other people going to take an L. If you're going to take an L, then one of them other guys is going to take an L too. You just got to hone on that one person and make them take an L. And that's all I've been thinking about since then. Even though I've never had a situation where a bunch of people are trying to, jump me at one time. That just never has happened, So, back at the committee meeting, it looks like it's 50-50. Some of the committee, they want Johnny to rejoin, and a couple other people did not, only because they know Daniel. Johnny gets up and he gives a nice little speech about how he has a new Cobra Kai and they're not like the past. He even tells them that's why I left that should have woke Daniel up right then, because at the end of the first Karate Kid movie, he even tells Daniel that you're all right. He says it. He gives him the trophy and says, "You're all right, LaRusso." And in the parking lot, you know, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, they see Johnny being bullied and attacked by John Kreese. And there was no Johnny in Karate Kid 3. So the stuff, and Daniel took away, he didn't really take a beating too bad in the first Karate Kid like he did in the third one. In the third one, he got messed up the whole movie. And he didn't even know why he was getting messed up. Really, because when Mike Barnes came, Mike Barnes had it in for him. You know, Mike Barnes was pretty much a bounty hunter. Not a bounty hunter, not my bad, a mercenary. He was a mercenary, you know. And, you know, he even in the tournament in the Karate Kid 3, like, Daniel wanted to quit. He wanted to leave. And Mr. Miyagi stopped him, you know. So at this part in the committee, I did not understand why he was so dead set against Johnny and his school participating in the tournament, you know. So the committee tells Johnny that they have to meet. They're going to talk about it, discuss it. They'll let him know. So he steps out in the hall. They talk about it. Eventually, Daniel comes out. He tells Johnny, "Congratulations." You know, and, you know, Johnny knew what that meant. He goes back to the karate school, his karate school. He's putting up the poster for the All Valley. He's excited. Miguel comes in. I like this part because we're seeing a change in Miguel. Yeah, he's growing up, and he's just so happy. Yeah, and he's so happy because, you know, he's on cloud nine that Samantha kissed him. You know, and this is like at the first episode, like, he had no friends. He was getting beat up. He was getting teased. And now he has friends. Now he has a girlfriend. He's learning karate. Johnny is like a father to him. So at this point, you know, Miguel's on cloud nine. So he's extremely happy. Right. And, you know, him and Johnny hug, and Johnny gives him a drink. And they have a drink. And then that is the end of that episode. You got anything to say about that?
No. My instructor never gave me a drink.
I think, you know what, man, I think the first, you know who the first person was who tried to get me to get a drink?
Who?
It was you. It was you. Yeah.
Not me?
Yeah, it was you, man.
Yeah,
I didn't drink it though. I mean, we were teenagers and we were at some tournament. Actually, it was after the tournament. We was at you know, the hotel lobby or whatever, like, you know, a little bar or whatever. And you kept trying to get me to drink, get a drink. And I was like, I don't drink. I didn't start drinking anything really until after my divorce. That's when I started drinking. Yeah, I never really drunk anything. When that happened, I was 31, 32 years old. Before that, I didn't like the taste of alcohol. So I never really drunk anything, you know? So yeah, you were the first person to ever offer me a drink.
Probably. I can see that.
Okay, last episode for this week, episode 8, is called Molting. So the Cobra Kai Dojo, they're going to be in the All Valley tournament. The episode starts off with them, the kids in the junkyard, and Johnny's talking to them. He's trying to get them pumped up, and he's standing on top of a van talking to them. And he asks them if they're hungry, and they say, yeah, and he gives them something to eat. And then he blows a whistle, and then here comes some German Shepherds. I think they were German Shepherds come running at them. Well, you know what? He's training them, actually, before he gets to that part, he's actually training them. He has them doing tire runs. They're breaking glass for some reason. I don't know. They're beating up cars. They're walking on top of beams over just a bunch of ridiculous stuff. He's lucky parents weren't there. There's no way in hell parents would have been okay with this type of training that he was doing for them. This was some intense stuff, you know. You got anything after that?
I wouldn't have did that.
You would have?
I wouldn't have.
Oh.
As an instructor or a student.
Yeah. I mean, that it's no way in hell that you could take a bunch of kids to a junkyard and nobody gets hurt at all. Not a scratch. There's no way. You better have some a first aid kit also. Because they're gonna. I mean, I wouldn't even want to get scratched in a junkyard.
Right.
So man, so he was pretty
shot.
Yeah, exactly. Next scene after that, we see Daniel's mom. So she arrives at the LaRusso's house. So she comes over, and cousin Louis brought her there. He picks her up and brings her. And so then I guess they're gonna have a barbecue, because the next thing they're outside, they're eating and they're talking, and I guess Daniel was pretty much bitching that Johnny got Cobra Kai back into the tournament. And the mom is on his side. Of course she is. Of course she's going to be on his side, because she kind of remembers the things that they said, what they did to him when he was a teenager.
Right.
And once again, she brought up the fact, that he fell off of the hill or cliff or whatever. And like I said, man, like they never touched him when he was on that bike. He just rolled down that hill by his damn self. And at any point in time, before you started going down the hill, he could have got off his bike. And he could have just let the bike go off the hill. He could have jumped off, but
that was a sweet mongoose.
Huh?
It was a sweet mongoose.
So they're talking, and Samantha mentions that some of the kids in her school go to Cobra Kai, and she was saying, like, it can't be that bad, and Daniel tells her to stay away from any kids that are associated with that school. Now we also see some friction between Daniel's wife Amanda and his mom. It kind of seemed like they didn't really care for each other too much. And the mom is kind of bringing up that she used to come home from work and cook dinner from scratch, and it's turning into a little bit of a mess between them two. The next scene after that, we see we see Johnny. He's training Miguel at the school, and he's the only one there. And Miguel even asked him, why am I the only one here? And Johnny tells him, well, let's face it, you're the only shot we got at winning this thing, So, Miguel kind of takes it like, oh, so, I guess I'm your best student, huh? And then Samantha texts him, and Johnny asked him what was so funny. And he told him that, this is what my girlfriend she just texted me. And then he saw her picture, and then Johnny knew that he was dating Daniel's daughter. And then that's when Johnny decides to tell Miguel the story from his point of view of how he felt things went between where things went wrong between him and Daniel. And for the most part, he was telling the truth. For the most part, I mean, he kind of missed some things. Like he didn't tell Miguel that he threw the first shot, that he pushed Daniel down, or that he kind of tripped Daniel a couple times as Daniel charged him. He didn't hit him. He just kind of just to the side and tripped him. And then he hit him with that turning sidekick, but he didn't mention the turning sidekick to Miguel. So I guess we probably all kind of do that when we tell stories, from our point of view sometimes about different things, So he breaks the whole story down. For the most part, he tells the truth, and he tells Miguel everything that Daniel did, and now Miguel is feeling like Daniel was an asshole. He even said, what an asshole, He tells them that Daniel turned the water hose on his head, and he basically was telling him, like, you have to watch yourself around the LaRussos. That was his point in breaking things down and telling Miguel the things that he told him. You got anything?
No. Keep going.
Okay. So then we kind of go back also to the dinner.
I do have something.
Go ahead.
Sorry. But the one thing about this scene is Johnny didn't try to talk him out of being with her. He just said, you kind of have to watch, like you said. So to me, he's still positive Johnny to this point to me. Yeah.
Unlike Daniel, because Daniel told Samantha, to stay away from anybody associated with Cobra Kai, you know.
Right.
Also, Daniel tells his mom that he tells his mom about Robbie and he's training again, and you know, so she likes the fact that he's back training, and they reminisce about Mr. Miyagi a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Louis interferes and jumps in and says, well, you know, I said we should get the car back. He wants to go get the car back. You know, he says he can find out where Johnny lives and we can go, you know, get the car back. And we see now that Amanda is tired of Louis because she's complaining that the different things that he's done at the job. So he doesn't seem like he's the model employee.
No.
And the mom kind of jumps in to stand up for him. It's like, well, you know, he's family. You know, we always take care of family. And that's when Amanda says, well, we always take care of family. So they had some personal issues that were going on that they probably both were biting their tongue about different things.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in that situation before where my significant other and my mother get into it and arguing with each other. So that had to have been very, very awkward for Daniel to be in that position, you know.
I've been in that position.
You have?
I've been Amanda with the Italian family.
You've been the Amanda.
I've been the Amanda.
I have never been the Amanda. I've never had I've never had a problem with anyone's parents. Not at all. I've never had an issue.
Just the one set of parents.
So they eventually get to arguing, and then I think Amanda said that she'll go into the kitchen, she'll make Daniel's mom whatever she wants, and then Anthony had to butt in and say, if you're going into the kitchen, or you know, bring me back another yoo-hoo. And then him and Samantha get into it, and it's just a big mess. And Daniel just kind of looks like he just kind of wants to run away. After that, we see Johnny and Miguel. They come back home after training, and we see Miguel's mom. We haven't seen her in a while.
Right.
And she kind of meets them outside, and you know, she tells Miguel to go inside. Dinner's ready, and then she invites Johnny over for dinner also. And he didn't really want to. He didn't want to impose, and he tells him, "I'm okay. I got a couple of hot pockets." And she says, "No, this is my dojo. You know, come on over. You know, have dinner with us." And he does. You know,
I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'd have went over there and been like, I'm trying to get promoted tonight.
Now, but you know what? It's funny you say that because at this part, when I first saw this, I didn't think there was any type of chemistry going on between him and Amanda. I didn't think that when I first saw this. I just thought that, you know, they were neighbors, you know, and she was, you know, okay with him helping out her son, you know, because that's all he had been doing anyway, from the very, you know, from the first time he's met him. He's just been like a role model, to Miguel. And you know, they're just at the table talking, getting to know each other. And then Miguel's phone rings. So it's a big difference from their family dinner compared to the one that Daniel and his family had, because they're all peaceful at their table. They're having a nice dinner. Miguel's phone rings, and it is Samantha, and she's just stressing out because of the arguing and stuff going on at her house. And you know, they're talking, and Daniel comes. I don't know why he needed Samantha's help. You know, he says, "Can you come out here and help me with these two?" And she says yes, and she kind of covers up her laptop. And then Daniel asks her, who is she talking to? And she says, no one. And Miguel hears this, and you know, it looked like his feelings were a little hurt when that happened, you know. And you know, he kind of brushes it off when it happened. What did you got anything to say about that?
I had that happen to me.
Who were you? Were you Miguel or were you Samantha?
I was Miguel.
Really? Man, you need to write a book, man. You need to write a book.
Oh, I should.
You should write a book.
Motherfuckers would never talk to me again.
Well, man, you can change the names of the people. I mean, you can make it like a.
Then what's the point in the book?
You can say it's fiction, man. People make look. We can turn. We can make the book. Matter of fact, let's make it a comic book at first, and then we can make it into a movie. Come on, man! Don't turn that movie.
Who would play me, man?
You mean that's acting now? That's acting now?
Who would play me? Vin Diesel?
Yeah, okay, Mike. I don't know about that, man. The Rock. I'm thinking Kevin James might play you.
That's fucked up. You mean Paul Blart, the mall cop?
That's what I'm talking about. What? He's a funny guy. I think he can pull that movie out good. That'd be funny.
That's messed up, man.
Why you say that?
At least Vin Diesel, man.
Yeah.
The bald head, the muscles.
I think Kevin James can pull it off a little better. What you guys out there listening? What do you think? You think Vin Diesel, or do you think Kevin James could be Mike Gibbs in the Mike Gibbs story? I mean,
who is Tay Diggs? Is who in my movie? You?
I don't know, man, because that's a different color. I don't think Tay Diggs is gonna be Mike.
They talking about you.
I think
that has to be you.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I would hope so.
Tay Diggs and Best Man. See, that's you, man. They're saying you play Tay Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, it's your movie. It's okay.
So who would Travis be?
Who would my brother be in the Mike Gibbs movie? Who
would play him?
Oh.
All right, man. Let's go back to Karate Kid, man. But no, listen. So that happened to me, and I was with somebody, and the same parents I was telling you about didn't like me, and the grandfather died, who I was actually really cool with, and she was like, I was like, oh, we're leaving. She's like, well, you can't go. I was like, okay. So she came back Sunday, and I had a new friend. How that story ended.
It is what it is. All right, let's move on.
Vin Diesel.
Okay, we're gonna let the audience decide on that. So don't distract me, man. Come on now. All right. So after Miguel is talking to Samantha, the dinner ends and Johnny goes back to his apartment and he decides to clean up a little bit. We see him starting to clean up his apartment. So we're starting to see, okay, he's about to turn the corner. Everything is going good for Johnny at this point, we get to Daniel's house and we see Robbie arrives. He's there to work out with Daniel. And as he comes into the backyard, he runs into Samantha. He sees Samantha and, he's kind of staring at her. So now we know, okay, he has some type of attraction to Samantha. He introduces himself and he says that he's there to train with Daniel. And so she says, "Oh, so you're the one that my dad has been talking about." Daniel tells Robbie that they're going to go out to the woods and train. And she tells him as they're leaving, she tells him good luck with the tree. And he wants to know, what did you mean by that? And Daniel kind of tells him to come on, let's go. And I don't know, do you call it woods or forest? Is there a difference? Like how come it's not one, universal word for that? What do you call it? Would you say woods or forest? I'm talking to you, Mike.
You always ask me like I know this shit. I don't know. I don't go in the fucking woods. I guess it's woods.
You know what? I said it to my
I
friend.
don't like bugs. You are the bug motherfuckers.
Here we go.
What do you guys call it? Y'all in the woods picking up bugs.
You know what? I asked my frat brothers this one time, and they said that the woods is called the woods when it's in a horror movie, and if it's a Disney movie, then it's called the forest.
Pretty smart. That makes sense. I'm not going in neither.
You seem like you would be a hunter. You're not a hunter?
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. Man, you do so much. You do so much, Mike. Mike, you're my boy. You do a lot of stuff. So
I do a lot of stuff, but not no wood shit.
It wouldn't surprise me if you're sitting up in a tree, in a little stand. Right?
First off, I'm not climbing no trees. Second of all, it's cold as hell. 3, I don't like bugs. 4, I'm an animal lover. I'm not going to kill nothing. Now, I know my people kill animals, and I can't kill no animal like that.
I got you. I feel you on that, man.
And then you got to gut them and shit. Oh, hell no, man. Oh, yeah. I'm a big-ass sissy, man. I'm going to admit, I don't fuck with bugs. None of that shit, man.
Okay, so Daniel, Daniel, in the first Karate Kid movie, Mr. Miyagi took Daniel to a lake, and he had him standing. You remember when he had him standing on the boat, and he's practicing the blocks and stuff. So that's what he kind of wanted to do with Robbie. So he says that in the movie, but he says that the drought had dried up the lake, so he found a new place. So that's where he was training Robbie now.
Why did your uncle never take us nowhere cool? We went to the park. That was it.
I mean, you probably would have. We did that type of stuff. Like we went to we did demos. Matter of fact, you went to that karate camp a few times. I've actually never gone to any of the camps.
Here, I mean, he could have took us to Cedar Point to train.
But y'all had a camp, like a weekend.
I didn't go to the camps. I never went to the camps.
You were there one time because my stepdaughter.
Nope. Never. I stopped. I never taught or participated. I stopped by one time.
Okay.
But I never did anything.
Because my stepdaughter, she came back. She's like, "Man, your friend Mike is so funny." I'm like, "Mike, what Mike?" And she was like, "White Mike." I was like, "Oh yeah." Well, I mean, Mike, that's a common name, so it could have been a couple other ones there. But yeah, so that's how I knew that you were there. But she went a couple times to spend a couple weekends there, but I've never gone. So I everybody always says it was fun. So now we see Johnny. He's pretty much cleaned up his apartment. He got rid of the old TV he had. He got a new flat screen up on his wall. He went to his refrigerator to grab a beer. He changed his mind and grabbed orange juice. And we see him, changing. The next scene after that, we have Daniel. Him and Robbie are out in the woods. They're doing katas. They're training. Somehow Robbie knows everything that Daniel knows because they're in sync as they're training and they're doing the different punches and kicks and blocks and kata or whatever. And then they're walking back. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, I hate this part. The part where he has on the baseball chest protector, stomach protector.
Yeah, the catcher's gear.
Yeah, and he has on the mask. I'm like, okay, I understood why Mr. Miyagi has that on because Mr. Miyagi probably had that laying around. Mr. Miyagi was not really a karate instructor.
Right.
So he didn't have that stuff. So Daniel should have just went ahead and got an air shield and some focus mitts. Like he didn't need to have why the face mask? Like it didn't make any sense. I'm like, come on, man. Most of his training, he is trying to be Mr. Miyagi, and he's not trying to be himself. I know when I teach, I don't try and teach exactly like how my uncle taught. I have my own style. Now certain things I say I might have picked up from him, but I don't teach just like how he taught. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. So as they're walking back, they stopped at the tree that Samantha had mentioned earlier. Daniel wants him to get up on top of this tree that's laying down, and he tells Robbie to do all of the kicks that he taught him. And he told him to continue to do it until he can do them all. And then Robbie gets up and he starts to practice. The next scene, he does fall down one time, but he gets back up. Next scene after that, we see Miguel, Aisha, and Hawk. They're at the movie theater and they're talking. In the movie theater, Hawk is throwing, some candy at the girls that's sitting in front of him. That was funny because when Johnny was telling Miguel about how he met Allie, he said that one of his friends named Dutch was doing the exact same thing. He said it was an alpha move in order to get women. And Miguel is a little upset. It looks like his feeling is hurt because he feels like Samantha was embarrassed to tell her dad about him because he felt that he wouldn't like him because he trains at Cobra Kai. So now Miguel knows the whole story and he's smart. So he's putting things together now. So he's a little upset. But, Aisha's telling him, like, don't worry, Mr. LaRusso is nice. You just need to meet him. And then Hawk tells him, it's an alpha move. Just go over to the house, And he eventually does that. We're getting down to the end. Robbie is still in the tree working out. We see him. He's knocking out all the kicks. He knows how to do all of them. He's doing the spinning hook kicks. He's not falling. He's looking for Daniel. Daniel has wandered off. When he finds him, Daniel is standing on his hands, and he's trying to do some type of kick that's supposed to be the most unstoppable kick in Miyagi-Do. And I already see how you're looking about that. And then Daniel's standing on, he has two hands down, and then he takes one arm up, and now he's standing on one hand, and his legs are raised. And Robbie interrupts him and asks him what's he doing, and he tells him that about the kick. Robbie asks him how to do it, and he says, "Well, I wish I could show you. Only Mr. Miyagi could do it." So my thing was after that was like, how can you practice something that you don't even know what you're doing?
Right. That's right. And we never saw Mr. Miyagi do it, so stop.
I don't even think I want to see Mr. Miyagi try and do that.
It was like a capoeira kick or something, man. It was.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. So the next scene after that, we see Johnny. He goes back to his stepdad's house, and he shows up with a envelope full of money. He tosses it down and gives him back the money. So basically, we find out that he returned the money that he used to start Cobra Kai. Man, I wish I had somebody just give me a big stack of money like that and let me get, try some things out.
Right.
So he gives the money back. Sid, his stepdad, tells him, like, you'll be back. You need my money. And he tells him, I never needed your money. And he gives him the money back and he walks out. He's pretty happy with what he did. Next scene after that, we are back at the LaRusso's house. And now Amanda and Daniel's mom, her name is Lucille, they are on speaking terms. They're having a good time. They're cooking dinner together. They're getting along. Everything is fine. Daniel asks what happens. Samantha tells him that, you owe me for what I did. Then we see Miguel. He shows up on his bike. Everyone else is in the backyard having dinner. Miguel is practicing what he's going to say. He walks around. He goes and knocks on the door. Nobody answers, but then he hears them in the backyard. He goes back there and he takes a look, and then he sees everyone having dinner, and then he sees Robbie sitting next to Samantha, and they're talking, and he just looks heartbroken. Now, when I saw that, I thought that he jumped to conclusions a little too fast.
First off, little motherfucker walks around the back of my house after I don't answer my front door and come to pick up one of my daughters. We're gonna have a fucking problem. Let's see how much karate a motherfucker knows coming to my house like that.
Well, what was he supposed to do? I mean, he rode his
bike.
Go
the fuck home.
Go back.
If you come to my house, ring my doorbell, I don't answer the door, and you come nosing around the backyard, you liable to get fucked up by one of my killer dogs.
You got a point there, but I probably would have did it too. If I would have heard up, I probably would have. If I would have heard people in the backyard, it's a good chance I probably would have walked back there.
But at least be like, hey.
But yeah, he was kind of being kind of stalkerish.
Yeah, he was creeping.
He was creeping back there, and he was kind of hanging out in the bushes or whatever, and he noticed them. So yeah,
I'm glad he saw it that time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what you get, you little sneaky.
So the last scene, we see Johnny. He's in the apartment. He's turned himself around. He is writing a letter to Robbie, and he even said, that you're not answering the phone calls when I call, and I refuse to text, so I'm going old school. I'm writing a letter, and as he's writing this letter, trying to figure out what to say to his son, he hears glass breaking, and he looks out the window, and he sees some guys destroying his car. And as he walked out, he's like, "What's going on?" And Louis is there with some thugs. Now, I kind of missed this part. This was during the argument part. Louis had met these guys in Las Vegas, and he was trying to get them to do a LaRusso luxury motorcycle line. Mm-hmm. That's why Amanda got upset with him earlier, because and Daniel felt he was using his name to make deals, and I guess Daniel had told him to stop doing that. Well, anyway, these guys they came, and I guess Louis found out where Johnny lived, and these guys were there to destroy the car that Daniel helped put back together. So when Johnny walks out, Louis even tells him to consider this a message from Daniel LaRusso. So he snitched right there. And he gets to destroying the car. So then Johnny, of course, he's going to be in defensive mode, and he jumps up and he beats all the guys up. They have clubs and bats and pipes and stuff. It doesn't matter. He still takes them all out, beats them all up pretty bad. And he goes over to Louis and asks Louis, like, where does Daniel LaRusso live? And he didn't want to say at first, but he could tell that Johnny wasn't playing with him. Johnny was about to seriously hurt him. And I'm surprised he didn't. He should have remembered Louis. And he beat up the other two guys that were out there, and he did not beat up Louis. I would have beat him up too.
Because Louis up first.
Yeah. Well,
after the thugs, yeah.
Yeah, they were right there when he came out. Louis was a little bit farther behind, so
Louis definitely gets the work.
Yeah, but he didn't even hit him. He's just standing in front of him, asking him where Daniel lives, and then he doesn't want to say. And then one of the thugs gets up and takes his lighter and throws it in the car. So they have put gasoline inside of Johnny's car. So now the car's on fire. It's total at that point. That's it. That's the end of the car now. So now Johnny's really pissed, and he's asking where Daniel lives. And he tells him, he snitches again. And this is Daniel's cousin. Mm-hmm. Louis should have got fucked up by Daniel and Johnny. For real. Right. They both should have took turns beating that ass, Mm-hmm. So then after he finds out where Daniel lives, he jumps on one of the motorcycles and then he rides off. Now it's dark. When we see Johnny again next time, it's going to be daytime.
Daylight, right? Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that next week. So that's the end of this episode, man. What did you think?
It's getting hype. It's getting interesting. You can see what's happening. So the showdown's about to happen.
That's right. Okay, people. So this is what we're gonna do. Mike, did you think about the 3 movies that you wanted to put on the server? Let me tell them what's going on. I'm gonna tell them first while you can come up with some stuff. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. So we're gonna go back to our movies pretty soon. So next week we're gonna review episodes 9 and 10, and then that's going to be the end of the Karate Kid series. So the following week after that, I'm sorry, not the Karate Kid series, the Cobra Kai series. So the week after that, we're going to get back to reviewing movies. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a survey together, and we want you guys to vote on what movies we're going to watch next. So Mike, what are the 3 movies for the survey? Did you decide yet?
I got one for sure.
Okay.
And that's we got to get back on Bruce Lee.
Okay, what movie?
Enter the Dragon.
Okay, I'm with that.
I mean, I just think that's like that movie. I mean, that maybe should have been the first movie we did, because that movie got so many people into the martial arts. That's the first one.
So wait, hold on, Mike. So do you even want to do a survey then? If you want to watch that, I mean, because I've been wanting to watch that movie also. I just was waiting.
Yeah, let's wait till the survey till after Enter the Dragon, because cool. I feel Enter the Dragon got so many people. Like, I feel there's 2 movies, Enter the Dragon and the Karate Kid. Like, I feel Enter the Dragon got one generation into the martial arts, and kind of the Karate Kid kind of got our generation into it. So
yeah, you're right about that.
Let's do our due diligence and do Enter the Dragon.
Okay, I'm with that.
And it's not boring.
No, it's not. From what I remember, no, it's not. Okay, so you talked about two generations. What do you think is the next generation after the Karate Kid that got kids interested in karate? I got an idea.
I got. Now you're gonna think I'm crazy. Ninja Turtles.
That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking too. Was Ninja Turtles, because right after them came the Power Rangers. They were like right after them.
Yep. And it was those. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So I definitely was going to say Turtles also, because I really got hyped when the Turtles came out. You know,
because how old were we when the Turtles came out?
Well, they came out as a comic book first, which I never read. Like I didn't know about the Turtles until that cartoon came out. And that was like around 87 or 88 was when that came out.
So, and Karate Kid came out around 85?
84.
84, so 5 years later. So we were 15, 16
when
Turtles came out?
No, I was in sixth grade at that time, 5th to 6th grade when Turtles came out. No, I'm telling you, I was. I started. No, not Black Pearls. Black Pearls. No way was Black Pearls of an influential movie.
It was for me. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
The Video Giant had it. I rented the shit out of that movie because there was people I saw that I've seen at karate tournaments was in it. That and the Karate Rocks video that had the Budweiser team on it.
Okay.
I rented that nonstop. But so no, the Turtles were 89, so you was like 14.
No, they weren't 89, they were 87.
When the show came out.
When the cartoon came out. The movie came out. The movie came out in 89.
That's what I'm referring to, movie.
Okay, I was referring to the cartoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. But I think the movie came out in 90.
Yeah, because I know I was in high school when it came out.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would say, we're 100% in agreement, and definitely the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna finish up episode 9 and 10 next week of Cobra Kai.
Then I do want to do Hard to Kill for Steven Seagal, because that was Doss's movie for Steven Seagal too, and that was one of my favorites too. But we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. I see the look on your face.
Yeah, I because the only reason I look like that, man, is because you picked above the law.
But I had to get you started on the first Steven Seagal joint.
Okay, all right. So I guess we got some type of rotation going on.
We'll figure it out. But definitely Enter the Dragon.
So we got a rotation going on between Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, man. Hey, at least my shit's in English. You want me to watch it, man, and subtitles and shit.
Man, I can't wait. Matter of fact, this weekend, that's what I'm going to do, man. I'm going to finish watching.
It was just on TV. It was on TV Sunday.
I'm going to finish watching an episode. I'm 2 and 3. I think I'm going to watch sometime this weekend. Okay. Yeah, man. If I got the chance, I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I got some comic stuff I got to do. I got to, now the close. And I got to start doing some promotion for my school. This is going to be the last month. October typically is the last month where I get new students. So I got a goal. I'm going to try and get between 10 and 15 new kids by October. November, December, I don't really get too many new students. Right. I don't know if you. Yeah, but I sell a lot of Groupons though in November, December. Typically, the last 2 years, I've sold between November, December, I've sold like 20 Groupons. And then in January, I normally get a rush of kids. So hopefully, you never know in this, this new COVID life we in now. Hopefully, it's going to be the same thing. I don't know, man. I've been getting phone calls, and actually, it's so weird. I didn't think it was going to go like this, but I've been actually getting parents who prefer the in-person karate classes.
Oh yeah, so definitely.
I'm surprised because I'm thinking like there's going to be so many people who want to social distance. So I'm offering classes on Zoom, which is going good. I mean, I'm doing real good with that. I'm having a lot of fun, more fun than I expected to do on Zoom. And then starting on the 13th, we're allowed to go back inside and have in-person classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's when we're gonna go back inside. So I had to divide it up a little bit, and then one of the other locations. So I'm going to be at my community house that I'm normally at. One of the places that I reached out to a few weeks ago just called me this afternoon saying that they wanted me to come in and have karate classes on Saturdays also. So I was thinking like, okay, so I'm gonna have 2 locations. And it'll work out perfectly in addition to the Zoom classes, because I know all of my parents are not going to be comfortable. And then you can only have a limit of, I think, 20 people in the location. So, we'll see how it goes,
Right.
Everybody, we're all pretty much guinea pigs, just, testing this stuff out right now and see how things are going to go, so.
Right.
You got anything else for us, Mike?
Nope. Hey, man, if I come back to Michigan, I'm gonna check your classes out.
Okay, I was thinking, I was like, so when Mike comes back, me, Mike, Ski, we gonna open up a karate school together, just like the guys in Best of the Best. That's okay, man. I know me and Ski not trying to divide no money up no 3 ways. It's all good.
Ski ain't dividing no money up 2 ways. He's gonna have a reason for him to get more of a percentage. You know that. Well, this motherfucker tried. We were in a hotel once. Let me tell a story about this crazy fuck. He says, I'm like grown. I think I'm older than Ski. And I'm bigger. And he was like, no, you don't get the bed. He's like, I've won more world titles than you. I said, well, I've won none. He goes, exactly. He goes, that's why you're sleeping on the floor and not get the bed. So he would have a reason why he's better than both of us to make more money. Wait.
Why are y'all getting a room with only 1 bed? Like, how come there weren't 2 single beds?
Back in the day, man, it was cheap.
I
don't know if that's all the tournament
I can't even say nothing.
No. Your uncle was in the other bed.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it was your uncle was in. It was a group of us, but I'm like, no, I'm the oldest. I'm in the bed, and he was like, no, sucker, you're on the floor because you've not won anything. And I'm like, that's fucked up. But I was on the floor. So he would find a reason to make more money. Well, I've been a karate instructor longer. I had a program, and you guys weren't teaching karate then. So I have more seniority in teaching than you. I should make $300 more than you and $200 more than you. I can do it right now. I'll open karate school with his dad.
Oh man, now that most definitely would be a sitcom. You and Mr. Allison having a school together.
I love it.
That would be funny. That would be funny as hell.
Mr. Allison, I'm telling you, I love Mr. Allison, man. That is my dude.
All right, man, let's wrap this up. All right, everybody, thanks for listening to us. Make sure that you check out everybody that's on the Martial Arts Center Network, CTE, Inside Scoop. Make sure that you subscribe so we can get any type of update that any of us make. I know that we got some other shows coming up in the Martial Arts Center Network, so just stay tuned to that. You got anything else for the people, Mike?
No, look for the clothing line coming out.
That's right. Black Belt Club Collection. Go to blackbeltclothes.com. Check us out. If you guys got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. All right, that's it for Eugene and Mike for this week of Fists, Kicks, and Flixx. For everyone on Martial Arts Center Network, we will see you guys next week.
Back on Tuesday.
Back on Tuesday. Well, recording on Tuesday.
Or Wednesday.
Release on Wednesday. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.